Okay, theoretically, we are streaming and live. Let's see if that's true. Again, theoretically, 100%, we are totally live. But is that factual information, you guys? I can't tell you. Babe. But let's see.
True.
Yes! Okay! A little horrifying to see myself go back and forth on the YouTube. Okay, so that's 1 out of 2. If you don't know, the reason why I keep trying to check what's going on is because I'm trying to stream to multiple places now. I tried adding in my TikTok, so I don't know if that worked. Do I check? I guess, how do you even check if you're on live on TikTok? Does it say? Do I know? I feel like so much I don't know. I don't know. Am I live? It doesn't look like it. But I can't worry about it too much. I'm not going to lie to you. It says that I'm streaming. So I guess we're just going to have to trust it. I guess we're just going to have to trust it and actually live our best lives. Because otherwise, what are we doing, team? Otherwise, what is the point of any of this? You know what I mean? So, step 1 of going live is, hi, gorgeous. Welcome to Soup Night. We have a stacked itinerary today. We're going to chop and chat, and then we got to feed the Susie chef. Yay! Okay, confirmation that I'm seen and heard. Thank you. That's all I need in my life, is just someone confirming that I have not bungled technology any more than I usually do. But yeah, so we're going to chop and chat, and then the Susie chef has to eat first. Speaking of, Susie chef, would you like to make an appearance? Ba-ba-da-da! Hi, Miss Susie chef. Yeah! She's a very happy girl. And don't be fooled. She's not here to help. She is here to crunch on things. We'll get there in a second. And then we're gonna chit chat. We're gonna talk about community and whatnot, and how this year has already been 87 years long. And then I'll sign off for you. But step 1, chop and chat. So I made the stock yesterday, actually, because that's honestly been giving me a little bit more room to breathe. When I do my soup nights, I'm taking you guys with me on this journey. Join me. Come with me, and we'll be over at the chopping station. All right, and now this is what she came for. This is a carrot, also known as Susie's favorite treat, because my child is absurd. But she loves to crunch on things. She loves a crunchy little treat. So carrots and celery are my go-to treats for her. So instead of a cheese tax, we have a carrot tax in this household. So let me bring you live from the studio. Are you ready to crunch? Are you ready to crunch? She's ready to crunch. She's going to take it away and go sit on the rug and crunch over by herself while she protects that carrot. She's absolutely adorable. When I took her to the groomer the other week, because of course, since she's a little dietarily sensitive girl, I brought her own treats, just because I can't expect other people to have low protein treats for dogs, because dogs typically need high protein, but she's special. So I brought some carrots and celery for the groomer to give her. She's working on her. And when I came to pick her up, the groomer was very sweet. She was like, it was like ASMR. She was just crunching on it, and it was like listening to ASMR. So she's going to go do her ASMR over there. Maybe one day I'll make her own channel, ASMR Queen. But we're just going to chop for a little bit. I'm bringing you in with me. We're going to start with this onion. But how has everyone been doing? It's officially 2026, which feels like a cursed year just in general. But also the number 6 it doesn't do it for me. And considering 10 years ago was 2016, I think we're all kind of feeling like, this decade, not my favorite one we've ever done, team. I'm not going to lie to you. But we are here, and we are doing it. And to update you guys on how my year has been so far, I'm down a tooth from when I started the year. Clip mic lower. Thank you, my dear. Let's try right over here. Maybe get you directly away from my face. Let me know if that helps. But so I am down a tooth from when I originally started the year. Evidence. There's my fantastic dental implant that's going to have to go in now. Well, it is in. It's healing now until I can put the crown back on it. And someone was asking me, they're like, are you going to get like a cover for it? Oh, yay. Okay. I'm glad that worked. That helps. Okay. They're like, are you going to get a cover for over the tooth? Because you can't put the crown in until it's fully healed. And why would I remove the opportunity to tell a fantastic story again and again? Because every time someone sees that I'm missing a tooth, they go, oh, you're missing a tooth. Because before when they saw me, I wasn't missing a tooth. They were all in there. Now when they see me, there's one less tooth. So why would I remove that opportunity for them to see me with one less tooth and go, oh, well, that's fun and new. So conversation starter, first of all, wouldn't recommend getting your tooth pulled to come with a conversation starter. There's easier ones out there for sure. But if you just so happen that you got to get a tooth removed, I'll tell you right now, it's a great way to start a convo. Maybe not start the convo, but keep it going. You know, it's just something to talk about. But I'm down one tooth, but now I've got some metal in my body, and that feels fun and very futuristic. That's very in line with how the year should be going. And then on top of that, I was driving back and forth, so I haven't gotten to do like a real souping soup night this entire year, which is kind of wild if you think about it, because soup night is very ritualistic for me, if you will. I like to soup every Thursday. It brings me joy. It brings me, you know, a sense of like, it's like an anchor point in my week. Thursday comes around and I know that we will be souping. And so because I haven't been able to soup the way that I would like to, side note, we've got chopped onion. To get you in close. That's the onion camera. Onion chopped. 1 down, 2 to go. Moving on to celery next. And yes, she will stand right there the whole time and wait. It's menacing with the knife in the way, my God. But she will stand right there and very patiently wait for me to gift her with something. But so it feels nice to get back into the soup night routine. It feels nice to kind of get back to things that make sense. I've been doing soup night for myself for, I mean, probably over a year now. It's been a while. And it took me a little while before I actually invited other people to soup night. It was really just something I did for myself until it got like so familiar to me that when people were like, do you want to hang out Thursday? I was like, well, yeah, but do you just want to come to my house because it's soup night? And then people would be like, what is soup night? Because in my head, it was soup night was already a night. Like, we know what soup night is up in here. But I had not communicated that to anyone in my life. She is a good girl. She really is such a good girl. And so when I just start referencing it like it's a known thing, people are just like, so what do you mean? What's soup night? Which, valid question. This is soup night. I make soup. I hang out. If people want to swing by and have some soup, I will give them some soup. People that I know, because, you know, stranger danger. But I don't know. I guess it's a fun question. If someone knocked on my door and asked for soup, would I give it to them? I mean, if I had it, sure. I don't know how they would like know to come to my door and ask specifically for soup. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, fun little brain teaser. Any hoozle. So with soup night kicking off 2026, my first like proper soup night of the year, I kind of wanted to invite you guys to join me. Because I like when people come for soup night. I like getting to hang out with you guys and share my soup that I have curated over years and years. It's really just a chicken noodle soup with tortellini in it. It's not fancy, but it is delicious. And if I have soup and I have time to hang out, I want to share that with you, my wonderful, wonderful friends. So that is what we are doing. Oh my God. If I gave you a piece. No, if I give it to you, they have to watch. Yes. I can't deny them of that pleasure, Suze. Okay, are you ready? Take that crunch. Go have fun. If only I had a crunch camera as well. I just figured out how to stream to 2 places, you guys. We got to take this one step at a time. But so yeah, so welcome to the first official soup night of 2026. I'm so glad that you could join me. How have your 2026s been like? Tell me in the chat team. Tell me what's been going on, what we're excited about, what we're not excited about, how we are living, laughing, loving in these conditions, because they sure ain't be making it easy. But what else is there to do? What else is there to do, team? Anyway, so we're going to be making the soup. I was thinking about, look what I got at the store. I got a little jar of yeast. And I was going to make some bread to go with my soup. And then I forgot. That's it. That's the whole statement. I just forgot that I was thinking about doing that today. And so then I didn't do it today. And that's on not making lists. That's on not writing down your thoughts when you have them. But that doesn't mean that I can't still make bread at some point. But if I do make bread, and I will make bread because I have all of this yeast now, what else am I supposed to do with it? I will be making it in my new pot, my new Dutch oven. She's so cute. She's so beautiful. I'll bring the lid separately so I don't knock it, but it's got horsies on it for Year of the Horse. Isn't that so fun? So this is my new pot that I got for myself for the holidays, and we will be using it to make the soup today. Thank you. Is it big enough for soup? Like, almost, but I want to use my pot, so who cares? Who cares? I want to make it in the pot. So I'm going to make it in the fun, cool pot. It's actually funny. I don't want to say I usually don't buy things with color in them because it's definitely something that has become untrue in recent years. Horses. It's just horse themed. So it's themed for Year of the Horse. Because that is like the Chinese zodiac that we are in now, Year of the Horse. But I'm also a horse girl. Once a horse girl, always a horse girl. But I grew up riding horses. So it just felt very fun to be like, oh, horse girl thing, let me buy it. Because I very rarely do that. But what I was going to say is they have it in this red, and then they also had it in a black. But the black was sold out when I went to go look online. And so I was like, I'll just get the red. Why not? Like, it's pretty. It's gorgeous. Which I don't think that I would have done a few years back. I would have been like, oh, I want, the plain one, the one that will go with everything, yada, yada, yada. Which, honestly, I'm starting to feel is a little silly. It's, why are we living without color in our lives if it's going to bring us joy? You know what I mean? Why not get the horse pot in red if the horses in the red will bring you joy? Why not allow these moments of joy for yourself? I was just flinging water from the celery at you. So, cool you off a little bit. Not that you need it. I don't know how it is where you are, but I am sorry to report that it is sunny and gorgeous in Southern California. So if you are suffering with the cold, I empathize. I will experience it in late February when I go to Chicago and freeze there. But every time it's cold, you know what that means? It's another opportunity to wear a fantastic jacket. And you know what I love more than a fantastic jacket? Not much, to be honest. It's pretty high up there. I've got, that door is a closet, walk-in closet. It's actually pretty decently sized. One side of that whole closet, just coats. At least a dozen, maybe 2 dozen coats, various sizes and weights. And, I love a good coat. And I won't apologize for that. And I'll still try to wear a coat even when I'm in California. I'm going to give her the little tiny nubbins that I'm chopping off. Oh my God, she's like a heathen down here, you guys. Ugh, anyway. If you've ever wondered, by the way, carrot chopping, let me bring you closer. because that was definitely something party foul. I just knocked something over. Susie, it's getting crazy in here for soup night. When you be carrot chopping, because that was one thing where I was like, what is going to be my way of chopping carrots? I'd be looking around. I find, okay, so I'm going to split it in half. Also, chopping it into bite-sized pieces first instead of, doing that. We can do top 5 coats tonight, Alexa. The world is our oyster, babe. And then chop in half again. So we got these little planky guys. And then chop down either once or twice, however big you want your carrot to be. And that is the simplest way to chop carrots that I've found. So that's just a fun fact on carrot chopping, because this is a chop and chat. So we are chopping while we chat. And so we are going to chop, 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 chop. There are bits falling to the ground around me that she's trying to get. I know, you're a heathen. She's actually, the list of nicknames that this sweet girl has. The most common one is chicken, because she's my little chicken. One, because she is a little scaredy girl, but also because I have this old thing where I would call my direct reports, not to their faces, but I would call my direct reports my chickens, like I was raising my chickens. And so since she's my little charge, she's my little girl, she's one of my chickens. She's one of my chickens. Yeah, my niece and nephew are my chickens. Anyone who I just need to be looking out for is one of my chickens. So my chicken gets another carrot top. She's so excited. She's so excited. But so chicken is the number one thing that I'll call her. When she's in trouble, she gets called ma'am, which is already screwed me one time when we were driving out to Arizona and I was taking a stop in the Wendy's drive-thru, because Wendy's is the road trip food. I shan't hear anything else. Wendy's is my road trip food. Is it good? That's not the point, okay? Not the point. I don't know why you would ask that question. But it is what I want when I'm on a road trip. But so we were in the Wendy's drive-thru and I'm ordering my food and she's asked me to pull up. And in that moment, Susie tries to crawl into my lap, because that is one of her favorite things to do while we're driving, is to very slowly, I'm in the driver's seat. Susie's right here in the passenger seat. Use your imagination. She's right here in the passenger seat, just sitting on her little seat. And then we've got that center console right there. She'll put her paws on the center console with her little head. Just look at me. Oh my God, Mom, hi. So I can pet her little head right there. And then minute by minute, she'll inch. So then her two little paws are on my thigh. And then they're in the middle of my thigh. And then she's laying on my whole, and just over until she's like trying to crawl into my lap, which is super cute, but it's not safe when we're going 75 miles an hour down highway. So thankfully this was just in the drive-thru. But so she once again tries to crawl into my lap. And so I start yelling at her, I'm like, ma'am, get back into your seat. And I can hear as I'm pulling up that the drive-thru worker is like trying to respond to me, like, do you need something? And so when I drive up to the window, the first thing I say, I'm like, I'm so sorry. I wasn't talking to you. I would not talk to you like that. I was talking to this dog. I call her ma'am when she's in trouble. And thankfully she found that to be a hoot and a holler. Because that poor woman, like, who is she to be getting this random girl being like, ma'am, anyway, so that's what you get called when you're in trouble. Yeah, I think a couple more carrots and then we'll be good to go. Another carrot for you. Good girl. So we've got chicken, we've got ma'am. We have got, okay, so it goes from Beanie Baby to Sugar Bean. So Beanie Baby, Sugar Bean to Sugar Booger, because she's so sweet that her boogers are made of sugar. To my Booger Queen, because she is the queen of my heart. So that's how all of those connect. You can mix and match to your own pleasure, but that's typically how I navigate that map of nicknames. What are you doing? Fascinating, pretty girl. Anywhoozle. So right now my favorite is Booger Queen. And I think that the Ooger, like I think she started to know that ooger like is a sound that is associated with her, which can only have hilarious outcomes, I'm hoping for. But she's doing really well. She's definitely settled down since I last got her. And I don't know that you've seen her on a stream yet. So stream debut, pretty girl. Congratulations. But I got her back in October as a rescue. And she definitely is a reactive girl. She's just suspicious. And why would I stop her suspicion? She doesn't like men. Why would I stop that? I don't like men either. You know what I mean? So I cannot blame a cutie patootie for just following her instincts. Ma'am, did you throw your carrot under the door? Is that what's happening? You actually did. Oh my God. Here, let me go rescue your carrot. And then next time, maybe don't. Oh my God. How did you do that? Yes, here's your carrot. Can you give me a good sit? Oh, good sit. Yes, good girl. That's actually one of my favorite things that I've taught her, the snap and point down. That one's working well for me for a sit. But anyway, she's definitely settled in more. She's not quite a Velcro dog as she was, but she's still Velcro-y, which is fine because part of the reason that I got her is since I work from home and I have my own place, you know, it was either get a dog to talk to or just keep talking to myself. And while I am an excellent conversationalist, as evidenced, sometimes it's more fun to talk to another being. And I can only call my mother so many times before. That's not good for either of us. So, also, I had been wanting a dog. Like, I grew up with dogs, and I had wanted a dog my entire 20s. But I just traveled too much. Isn't that right? Isn't that right? So we had to wait until I was ready to get you. Okay. Guess what, Susie? We're going to have one leftover carrot. Not like forever. I've literally got full container of carrots and celery in the fridge. But just from what we pulled from our chopping. Okay. This is going to be a big one, you guys. This is probably the biggest carrot that I've given her as one. Usually I break it in half, so we'll do half. I know, you were hoping you were going to get the full one, but I don't want you to choke on it. Okay, one more crunch, Kim. Are you ready, ma'am? She's locked in on this carrot. Yeah? She wants the carrot? Ah! Good girl. Good girl! All right. We've chopped, we've chatted, we've crunched. Let's get this soup on the stove. We're gonna swing it on over this way. Welcome to the next step of soup night. Okay. Let's get this going. There we go. Okay. Now, this is also extra fun for me because the soup night that we did before for my birthday, I really made the stock for you guys. Oh, hi. How was your workout class? What did you do? But so I'm excited for tonight, especially because I'm actually going to make the soup itself. I'm not just going to make the stock because I made the stock yesterday because I was working ahead. It's crazy how when they say that like when you work ahead, you have more time and to like do things and do them well. And as someone who loves procrastination, I don't like that truth. I don't like that being factual. I would rather just rush to get everything done all at once. We're just going to add some olive oil. And then when you be making the soup, you should do olive oil and butter because obviously Tread 50. I've never heard of Tread 50. Like I'm assuming treadmill, right? So like an Orange Theory kind of vibe? Or like is it only running? Do you run with weight? Like what's the, also how many new workout classes are there? It's like, I can barely keep up. I'm a solid core girly though, so who am I to talk? We have butter in the butter bell. It's Kerrygold because I love myself and I love my Irish heritage. Okay, there we go. Just get a good knob of butter out of there. toss it on in. And it's good to do the oil butter mixture just because butter, oh, Orange Theory. Okay, I was right. So it's not a whole new thing. It's just like a version of the Orange Theory in there. Okay, fun. Okay. Now I don't have to worry about a new workout class I'd never heard of. But yeah, it's the butter. The butter has a lower smoke point than the olive oil. And so by melting the two of them together, combining the two of them together, that will raise this overall smoke point of the mixture so that the butter won't burn as easily. I mean, at some point the butter shall burn because we all have our limit, you guys. There's only so far that we can be heated before we burn. Speaking as a paper white person, I know that as a fact. There's only so far we can go before we burn. Okay, we're gonna get that roiling. Oh, I know. Here's the other half of your crunch. Are you gonna come? I'm just doing this again specifically because, Mel, this is what you missed. This is what you missed while you were in your Tread 50. Susie and crunch time. Okay, Susie Chef. Come here, my Susie Chef. Come here. Susie, come. Yeah, come here. Oh, good girl. That's a good crunch. It's her favorite treat. It's her favorite, which is hilarious. I love that. I've made so many hard-boiled eggs, and the actual making of the hard-boiled eggs is not hard. It's getting the goddamn shells off. No matter what I do, the shells, it's always a disaster. Anyway, that's not true. I have had some good ones, and like there's a whole science behind that as well. But yeah, no, that's actually, it's part of what I like about soup night in general is that I just I enjoy cooking. I'm not like the best cook. I've never like done it professionally or anything. But I just enjoy honing my little skills and making little things. And most of what I learned of how to cook was from watching the Food Network when I was in high school. And just like random like YouTube videos and stuff like that. So there's always good nuggets to know. And cooking is one of those things where once you know the fundamentals of what you're going with, it's a very flexible art form, if you will. You have a lot of space to get creative with it and do what you want. Okay. Yes. And then you want to hear that sizzle when you drop them in. If you're not hearing the sizzling, your oil, your pot, and your oil are not hot enough. But so we're just going to get that going. I'm just going to put the onions in there first to sweat. And when you're sweating the onion, all you're doing is you're just quite literally releasing the moisture from it because there's a lot of water in onions. And releasing the moisture will then allow you to brown it or, caramelize it. But we're just going to do it kind of to translucent, to be honest. Shit ton of Morton salt. Should I have a shaker for it? Sure. But do I need a shaker for it? No, I can just pour it out in my hand. Salt! And then I'll do that much right now. And I'll save the rest for a rainy day. Just kidding. I'll just put more in when I need it. All right. Now we're souping. Oh, it feels good to be back to souping. Now, in terms of souping and soup nighting and our hopes and dreams and our 2026 year that we have together. What I was thinking was that I want to start doing this more regularly because if I'm souping, why should you not be invited? Like, it just makes complete sense that I would invite you to soup night because I'm doing this anyway. I'm doing it anyway. I'm going to be making the soup. So I can make the soup and talk to myself, or I can make the soup and have you guys join me. And so you can join at your own leisure and at your own pleasure. But I think that if I'm in town, which is always a big if, not always, but she does travel sometimes. But if I'm in town and there's soup to be made, it shall be a soup night. Pepper, salt, and pepper. Anytime I grab the salt and pepper, I think of that. Sir Ian, is it Sir Ian McKellen? I think. on SNL when he introduced Salt and Pepper, the band, and it was like salt and pepper. Ogres have layers and onions have water. Both facts. Both factual pieces of information. Thank you for sharing with the class. Very important information to share. Okay, we got the pepper in there. Oh, and it smells so good. There is no better smell than onions and butter. That's just factual information. I don't care what you're going to say in reply. I don't care about new baby smell. I don't care about, fir tree smell. I don't care about actually burning leaves. Oh, that's another great one though. That had to be like neck and neck for me. I think burning leaves is my favorite outdoor smell, and onions cooking in butter is my favorite indoor smell. That's how I'll separate them. By the way, don't you guys love these? I got these when I was in Dublin last year, and I hung them up, and they're so cute. Also, oh my God, I forgot to show you the update. So if you remember, maybe you don't remember, maybe you do, I did this little backsplash over here on my my kitchen, and so I've extended it to behind my my stove right here. And so I still have some to do at the top because that like goes up to a point, and it requires cutting, and I tried getting like a paper cutter at the Michaels, and it just wasn't like the sizing wasn't working. And what I really wanted was, do you guys remember back in like elementary school, back when teachers had funding, and there was like that big industrial paper cutter that would be on the counter where you had like the big arm that you could raise and lower? And thinking back, I don't know why that was accessible to children. I don't actually know that it was accessible to children. I might have just used it. I was one of those strange children where like I seemed very responsible, and so I was allowed to do things that typically you didn't allow children to do, like use the paper cutter and do the school announcements. So, also, yes, I was a school announcement kid. That probably explains a lot for you. But I was the school announcement kid that just was like, I mean, sure, I'll do them. Yeah, absolutely. And I had fun every time, but like, was it going to be my person? Like, if they took it away from me, was I going to be upset? No, honestly, couldn't care less. And that's how I get through most things in life. Okay, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, and so that's what I wanted. I wanted like a big paper cutter that I could then use to like, because the actual like tiles themselves, actually, I think I have, hold on. Hold please. Which way am I going to move it? There, what you can't see is a web of wires behind you, and I didn't want to play like, obstacle course. But where did I put it? Where did I put it? Susie, where did I put it? Oh my goodness. It's crazy because they were literally right next to the trash can, and then I moved, oh, right here. Ha ha ha. Okay. This is like, these are literally the things that are on my wall. And so I had to obviously cut things, but so they're not like, they're not just paper. Like there's a layer here for sure, and it's a sticky back, and it's kind of a soft touchy plastic. This is plastic cover on it, but it's like a soft touch plastic. So it's not hard to cut through. I've just been basically scoring it on the back with a box cutter and then like chopping it with just like regular fucking scissors. Regular scissors. But I wanted like a paper cutter so I could like map it out and then just do a one big like chop through. And I'm pretty sure that those old school paper cutters could totally do it, but like the ones that I could find at the Michaels just were not doing it. And I didn't want to buy like, cause like the one that I didn't try was like $250 for, like scrapbookers who like are really into using paper all the time. They're the ones chopping down those trees. And so like cost benefit, like, do I need a $250 paper cutter? No, I don't have a printer. Like, I don't have paper. Paper comes into my household and then I remove it from my household, which is wild to think about. My very first job in corporate America, like, I was a sales assistant. And so I had to keep track of like all the deal changes and things like that, and like have all the paperwork on hand. And so literally in my depressing gray cubicle, You know, you had all those file drawers that were full of files, and I was printing stuff out every day and making notes and filing in the files. And, you know, I'd have sales reps coming by and being like, where's the deal memo? Can I see it? And like, people would sign it and then I have to scan it and then send the scan over. I had to fax, which why we were faxing in 2016 is beyond me. I feel like we should have been over that by that point. We're definitely over it by now. I guess you could go to like a FedEx or, you know, some sort of shipping place, and they would probably do faxes for you. I think they still have that technology. But again, why? Exactly. The paper cutter would do it, but I can't find one, and I don't have. The only reason that I wish I still had a Facebook account is for like the neighborhood groups, like the Buy Nothing groups and things like that. Because I know that they exist and people are like, oh my God, they're incredible. And I believe you that they are incredible, but that would require me to resurrect my Facebook account that I deactivated literally 10 years ago, at least. I think I deactivated like right as I left college. And I don't know, if that is worth it for me. Like, it's, you know what? That's fair. You do have the children in the house. I mean, I'm still going to be sorry for you because, like, what a good find of a mini paper cutter. But other good finds will come back around. But I always do like to pour one out for the good finds that you had to leave. Because I do a lot of thrift shopping for clothing. As I say that, I'm actually not wearing, well, technically these jeans were my mother's, so we can call these thrifted. These, oh my God, side note, we're going to go on a tangent. So these jeans have to be old as sin. Literally, they have like little holes in the side that I can like stick my finger through. They were barn jeans because when you're a horse girl, you have clothing that you can wear to the barn, and then you have other clothing that you do not wear to the barn, and you really don't mix those. And so these were barn jeans back in the day, but they are like actual genuine low-rise jeans. They're loose, they're big on me, but like that's kind of why I like them, because they're not clinging to anything right now. But so all of my jeans as an adult go up to here at the bottom of my rib cage, and like that's how they're meant to fit. But I don't have a torso. So this is the bottom of my rib cage. This is the top of my hip bone. Look at that. That's my torso. That's my torso, everyone. I don't have one, okay? I'm all legs and I am all mouth. So to have jeans that actually sit on my hips, I'm like, well, why can't we make these? Because I've tried to find them. And even like the expensive brands, because my favorite jean brand to buy new jeans from, because thrifting jeans is so hard. Buying jeans in general is hard. And then you add on the hunt of the thrift. And the other thing is, like, as much as you try to detach yourself from like the numbers that are on clothing, especially when it comes to like, but truly when it comes to vintage clothing, you can't pay attention to what any of the numbers mean. It's sizing does not matter in any way, shape, or form. You really just have to go off of like vibe checks and then trying it on. So like to see a pair of jeans that are like 32 and you try them on and like they don't fit and you're like, what the? Just doesn't make for a good thrifting day. But anyway, I tried to find just like the jeans that we were wearing back in 2005. Like literally these jeans that my mother probably got back in 2005 to wear to the barn. Where are they? Where are they? No, these are my people. These are my people. If you like horses, if you like dogs, if you like soup, if you like clothes, if you like wine. Actually, oh my God. So we have not had a traditional soup night this year, but we have had a soup night because one of my nearest, dearest, bestest, loveliest girlfriends out here came over after the holidays for soup night, and she actually made me soup. She brought her own new cast iron Dutch oven, and brought her ingredients, and she made me a lasagna soup, which was delicious. I love lasagna soup. And that will definitely be added to the rotation because we will mix up our soup recipes at some point. But so because she was doing lasagna soup, I was like, oh my God, like let's have like a fun little Italian themed night because she has planned her honeymoon in Italy this summer. And so just like, oh, like it's so exciting. Your honeymoon is planned. Let's have like lasagna soup, da da da. And so I went to the Trader Joe's and I was like, yeah, let's just find some, you know, an Italian red and like go for it. And so then of course I found this. And I was like, you have to get, I'm like, I don't even care what it tastes like, okay? It's a Chianti that comes in one of these like little straw men. I must have. And so this is actually my wine stopper. Isn't it so cute? But so this is the wine that I've been like slowly chipping my way through because the thing is massive. It's 1.5 liters. And there were 2 of us. So we only got so far into it. And now I have this open. So I'm like, I guess I should just keep drinking it. I haven't had any in a couple of days. Should we taste test it? Let me stir this and then we'll taste test it because why not? What else are we doing? It's soup night. Stirring. But anywho's yeah, so if you like any of those things, I think that you will enjoy soup night. Oh, I definitely caramelized these onions. Probably a little bit more than I needed to. But that's the other fun thing about soup night, or honestly, that's one of the fun things about having like go-to recipes that you repeat is you get to play with them more. You get to, you know, find new tips and tricks, but also it's like, if this is not the most perfect soup this week, that's okay. There'll be more soup next week. We'll make it again. It's not the end of the world if something got a little bit roasty toasty. It's still gonna taste good. I'm still gonna eat it. Because that is actually the genesis of soup night. I started making soup because you could call it a meal prepper, but I call it meal batching or just like batching food. Because as an individual living alone, I can attest to the fact that it can be very frustrating trying to make food just for one person. Especially because most recipes and like, you know, most things that you're making, like it's just, you don't need a ton of food for like an individual meal. I'm just adding more salt. You don't need a ton of food for an individual meal. And so rather than being like I'm meal prepping, I make a big batch of something and then I just eat it throughout the week. And so I liked making soup on Thursdays because then throughout the weekend when I was running around or going to see people or like whatever, I didn't have to worry about like 1, thinking about what I was going to eat, or 2, worry about taking time to make it because I have soup in the fridge. I can just heat it up in a pot really quick and eat it and I'm good to go. So that is the true origin of soup night, if you will. Okay, we're salting. We're going to add some other seasonings. And then, oh, and we're wine tasting. We're doing so many things at once, team. Okay, back it up. Back it up. You don't need to come with me for this part, but you are blocking my way. So that's why you're coming. Okay, so over here, so to orient you, this is the side of the fridge. Here's our agenda items. This here is the pantry. Well, the spice pantry. Okay, we are grabbing garlic, onion, and smoked paprika. That's usually my main 3, besides obviously salt and pepper, but those are usually the 3 that I go for. It goes well with most of the stuff that I'm cooking. But so if you haven't figured it out, I got a Costco membership. Where else would you get a thing of garlic this large? And it's fabulous, I must admit. I do quite enjoy Costco. The stress of Costco can be a bit much for me. I definitely go in there with like a plan and a mission, and I go off hours. You're not going to catch me in a Costco on a weekend, okay? I love myself too much to do that to myself. I'm too kind to myself to go to Costco on a weekend. We all have to have our boundaries. But yeah, like weekdays, like in the afternoon, that's my sweet spot for Costco. And then the other fun thing is, I don't do it like every time that I go, but if I go and like I haven't really had lunch or anything, then I get to go to the food court and get some pizza. And isn't that fun? Because Costco pizza is delicious. I hadn't had Costco pizza until a couple of years ago. My sister picked up a couple of pizzas for my nephew's birthday party because, like, when the kid's 2, it doesn't really matter. Absolutely banging, you guys. Just so good. But I love a good doughy pizza crust, and I know that can be very divisive. As a Chicago girl, tavern style is very popular, and I won't yuck your yum. I do fundamentally hate it, though. Ever since I was a child. Actually, when I was a child, speaking of, Susie loves carrots. That's hilarious because I don't like carrots. I cook with them, obviously. Like, it's not like I won't eat them, but, like, if you told me that, like, I had a choice between a carrot and, like, most other vegetables, I'd probably pick the other vegetable. I don't, the crunch is weird for me. Like, I prefer cooked carrots 100%. But I don't like carrots. But then, like, when I was growing up, I would always tell people that I didn't like pizza because I don't like tavern style pizza. And when you're a child in the Midwest and you're doing, like, soccer parties and, you know, birthday parties at, like, you know, wherever, you know, you're getting a lot of food for kids. You're going to get, like, the big tavern style pizzas that are cut into squares. And first of all, pizza shouldn't be cut into squares. Deeply upsetting to me. Just, it's the wrong shape. It's incorrect. I don't like it. And then on top of that, I don't like the cracker thin crust. It's so insubstantial to me. I don't understand the point of it. I truly don't. And so you'll never catch me eating a tavern style. I might eat, like, the tiny triangle piece in the corners, just for, like, a little bit of something. But I don't like tavern style pizza. But you know what I do love? I do love a good deep dish. And you know what? Is it pizza? Is it not pizza? One, it's pizza, yes. Is it technically really, truly, like, a casserole in bread? Probably. And do I care? It's delicious. Let me live. So I do love a good doughy pizza crust. And Costco, she gets it. She understands. I don't know why I'm feminizing Costco. Pretty sure the CEO is a dude. Not saying that that's good or bad. I think that's just factual. But with that, should I call... You know what? You tell me. Is Costco a man or a woman? What kind of energy are you getting from Costco? Let me know. Okay. We have all those in. They're getting roasty toasty, excited to meet each other. We're going to throw the chicken in. That's what we're doing next. Oh! Before the chicken, we're doing wine. Because now I want to know. Oh, you're coming with me. You're coming with me. Also, side note, look at this cute little shaker that I got for Christmas. It's a little penguin. And then when you can take his head off, it's okay. It goes back on. And that's the strainer. And his body is, yeah. So he's so cute. And he matches my neighbor was going to throw these out. And I was like, no, I want those now. And so, how cute, how fun. Anyway, just a little fun thing for me. Okay. Enough dilly-dallying. Grab the wine glass. Wine glass acquired. Suspicious wine. Let's give it a sniff test. It's not the worst I've ever sniffed. Ba, ba, ba. Okay. It's soup night. We can enjoy ourselves. Okay. You didn't see that. You didn't see it. Okay. Cheers. Happy first soup night of the year. Thank you for joining me. Let's see how this is. I will drink it. I wouldn't serve it to you, though. I would open you a new bottle of wine. But I will drink it. Oh, very true. Okay. Samples do lean towards the gals. Because the gals be do giving us samples. That's very, very true. Although, I know some people go and they're like, I'm getting those samples. I'm not, like, super into the samples. It's not something that, like, it's not gonna make it or break it for me, like my sample experience when I'm at the Costco. It's a nice little bonus, but it's not the end of the world for me. Chicken. Chicken into the pot. Chicken into the pot. Also, why are you grabbing chicken with your hands? Because it's my chicken. I'm the only one eating it. And the chicken that is going into the pot right now will get hot enough to burn off any germs. Any of my germs that linger. Okay. We are almost to full soup. We're going to let these get to know each other for just uno momento. And then we're going to add the stock in. And then let all of that get to know each other. Let it come on up to a little bit of a boil so that we can throw our tortellini in. And then we'll just let that sit for a bit. In the meantime, though, while that's happening, she's looking at me despondently because she's right. It is time, as I told you. Dog eats first. So it's Susie food time. We also had a Sam's Club where I grew up. So I grew up going to Sam's Club, not Costco. And I think it's a very much like, if you've been to the Meijer before, like that's a very Michigan, like there are pockets where it's like it's a Sam's Club versus a Costco kind of thing. And my favorite thing from Sam's Club is their bakery had like chocolate chip cookies and like the, kind of like the plastic clamshell like tin. And if you pop those in the microwave for like 7 seconds, they get all warm and gooey again. And 12-year-old me housed so many of them back in the day. Oh, so good. So good. Although nowadays I just keep little dough balls in the freezer. And then anytime I want a cookie at night, I can just bake one up really quick. Just pop one in the oven and then fresh cookie. That's another fun fact. You can freeze dough. Actually, do I have any in the freezer? No, I bake them all. No, I do. Aha! Cookie in freezer. You take cookie out of freezer, you put it in preheated oven, you let it cook, you take it out, you have fresh cookie. It's magical. She keeps looking at me holding this bowl, being like, are you going to do something with it? Or are you just going to gesticulate wildly? So I'll be back in just a moment, team. We're just going around the corner to where the food lives. Going around the corner to where the food lives, Susie. And she follows me every step of the way. Yes, she does. Yes, she does. You're such a good manager, baby. Yeah. You're making sure that we're getting everything done. That is the cadence in which I do speak to her. I speak to her like this. Yes, because I have a puppy voice. And that's it. That's the puppy voice. Okay, do you love the Meijer as much as I love the Meijer? Also, I call it the Meijer. I don't know why, but that feels correct to me. So I'm just going to keep calling it Meijer. But I love the Meijer. And I bought the best pair of sweatpants in my life at the Meijer for $10 from the men's section. So that's just a pro tip. I'm just telling you. Are they fancy? No, but they're so comfortable. Oh my God, they're incredible. I will be so sad when those finally retire from commission. But until then, I know Susie. One step at a time, Suze. She's just watching me bounce back and forth, back and forth. But we have to add what I tell her is the secret ingredient. It's just her medicine that I have to mix into her food. But if I call it a secret ingredient, then it sounds more fun, doesn't it, Suze? She says, whatever you say, ma'am. I really don't care. Would much prefer you just finish making the food. You know what? It's a valid critique. I'll give her that one. I'm not going to lie. Okay. Yes, we're mixing this up for you. Miss Chicken. And then you're just going to add in. So this is very much like a pet thing. I had a bunch of ground food because she was eating it. And then she got a taste of chunks and gravy and realized that that's much better than ground food and that she doesn't like ground food anymore. And so now I just have a bunch of ground food that she doesn't want to eat when I put it out for her. So I am now mixing the two together so that she does still get the food and gravy. She gets the delicious stuff, but she also has to eat the very good food that we still have in this house. So we play a little mixing around here. There we go. Pick those up, please. Pick those up for me, please. Okay. And then a little bit of gravy in there for ya. All right. And now the dog shall eat first. All right. Come on, Miss Chicken. Don't worry, I'll give you a little chicken cam in a second. Okay. That's a chicken who's being fed. Chicken cam, incoming. Boop, 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 boop. There she is around the corner eating her food. It's all happening, team. They have a great rewards program. Thankfully, great rewards programs make or break places for me, I will say. Okay, let's bring you back into the action. We're gonna add the stock in. Come on, come on, come on. I don't want you to miss it. Oh my God, this is such a precarious little bar cart that I roll you on. Okay, and then stock in the fridge. 1 second. Oh, one thing that my mother gave me when I saw her last was this absurdly large mason jar. Just so big. Bigger than my head. And it turns out that it is the perfect size to hold my chicken stock in, which is very exciting for me. Very, very exciting for me. Okay, so now, we pop the lid off, and then I'm gonna grab strainer. Just a double strain. I already strained the stock once I pulled it off the stove the first time, but if you can see here, so I left it overnight, and this top section up here is really fat essentially. And so if you really if you were really strict about wanting to separate that out, you could throw this in the freezer to try and get it as cold as possible. And then the fat at the top would gelatinize, and you could just kind of peel it off. I don't care that much. Okay, to be quite honest with you. So I'm just gonna strain so that any of the really chilled bits of fat can kind of get caught in the strainer. Ha-ha! Perfect size. Perfect size. I'm so excited about this absurdly large, capaciously large handbag. Just who needs a jar this large? It's massive. It holds 3 pints. No, well, that's the biggest number. Well, technically they're only fill it up to here. Don't tell me how to live my life. I'm not canning with it. I'm just storing stuff in it. I don't have to follow the food safety rules. It's an insane thing to really rail against. I don't have to be food safe. That's crazy. Anywho, okay. So now we give the soup a minute. Here. Join me. We're gonna tuck the soup in. No! Okay, you're back. We're tucking the soup in. Look, she's in. She's got lots of stuff in her. So we're gonna bring her up to a simmer, really. I don't need a full, yeah, you do want a full boil, because basically what I'm gonna do next, spoiler alert, the next step is once the stock comes up to temperature, I'm just gonna throw this fresh tortellini in there and cook the tortellini in the soup. 2-for-1 special. Now that way, warning for you. If you don't like soggy pasta, don't do this to yourself. You should use fresh pasta, and then when you make a new bowl of soup for yourself, throw the tortellini in there and cook it one at a time. Leaving the cooked tortellini in the soup just sit makes it incredibly soggy. I love soggy noodles, okay? I'm a heathen, okay? I won't apologize for it. I like it. And so because I like it, I just don't care. I just do it. But if you do it the way that I'm doing it, forewarned. Don't blame me, okay? That's just how it works. Okay, we put things back. And then we will drink our suspicious wine. and we will chat for a bit because that's the next thing on our agenda. And you know how I love to follow an agenda, team. You sure do. Okay, let's back it up. Back it up. There's no way that you finished your food, ma'am. Not a single way. I'm going to go look over there, and it will only be half eaten. I swear, she's the only dog I've ever met where I give her food, and like it's optional if she decides to eat it. Most dogs I know would just like house any food that you give them. Not her. Not her. Okay, she ate like 70% of it. So I'm going to let her have that win. Yes, soggy noodles are most people's nightmare. And that's why I warned you. Okay? Because I don't want you to have to experience anything that you don't want to experience. Okay? If I can save you from that fate, I shall. That's my duty to you. Anywho, I'll be right back. 1 second. Ugh. Okay, well, that got in my way. But I'm bringing a chair around. This is actually my work chair. This is my desk chair. But it has wheels on it, which makes it easier to move than trying to move my kitchen table chairs in here. Anywho, hi. Oh my God, I get to sit down for the first time. This is so exciting for me. Susie seems unsure of what to do in this situation now. She's just gonna sit right here. But to review our agenda, we're souping. We chopped and chat, and then the dog ate first. So now we're gonna talk about community while we let our soup continue to cook. So let me grab my phone. You think I would be more prepared for my own thing, but I'm not. And you can't make me be. Okay. As I said, I'm not prepared. I did actually prepare because I wanted to have this cute little chit chat because I was just thinking of like, what should we chat about for the first soup night of the year? Are you okay, man? She seems confused of what she's supposed to do with herself. Can you figure it out? Okay, good job. Anywho, so when I was trying to think of like what to chat about, honestly, like Januaries are just, historically, they're not hitting well for me. Considering last year with the fires and everything that went on, this year with just like the constant barrage of terrible information in this country, it's just like, well, what am I supposed to do with this now? And so, yeah, is that helping? Sorry, I'll give you a little. She's just gonna sit right there with us. So Susie is here for this conversation as well. But so I was just trying to think about what it is that I actually want to focus on this year. Because if I focus on all of the terrible things that are happening, I'm going to drive myself crazy, which is realistic to understand. We're not meant to be taking in terrible information at all times. So if I can't be taking in terrible information in this very strange world, what am I supposed to do with myself? And so I was just thinking through, like, what are the things that I do when everything goes wrong? Because she wants to be included in this conversation. Yeah, you want to be involved? You want to be involved? Okay, you can be right here. But so I was trying to think of what it is that I'm telling myself during this season, what it is that I want to tell my friends during this season of life. And I came up with a few things. And my first one is you have to put your own oxygen mask on first before you can help anyone else. That's like an old thing from airplanes. I don't know if you've ever had to do one of those before. I have not. I kind of want to, just, for fun. But I imagine it'd be terrifying in the moment to have to do it. But essentially, when you're on an airplane and you lose cabin pressure and so you can't breathe, an oxygen mask drops from above you, and they tell you that you have to put on your own oxygen mask first before you help anyone else, which is for the very logical reasons of, if you lose oxygen and can't breathe when you're in the middle of helping someone else, you're gonna pass out. And then if the person you're helping can't help you, who have we saved here? You passed out in the middle of helping someone else out, so now you're passing out. You were helping them because they couldn't do it themselves. Now they're not being helped either. And so when I think about like putting on my own oxygen mask first, some of my friends know this. I call this like the sim needs, or like your plant needs, of like the first things that you should do during a day, or like when you're feeling like completely out of sorts is like you have to check food, water, sunlight, movement. Like drink a glass of water. Have you eaten recently? Have you gone outside? Have you seen the sunlight? Have you moved your body? Like, have you just been horizontal for too long? Do you need to like walk around the block or something? And it's very, very annoying that those things do actually help and work. Especially when you're in a terrible mood, because you don't want those things to help and work, but they really do. And so that's always my first thing, is like addressing your sim needs, like your little character in The Sims, or if they're your plant needs because you're a little plant that you need to take care of, you know, whatever metaphor that you like to apply to your life. Truly just making sure that you've taken care of your own basic needs first before you can think about helping anyone else. It's annoyingly factual, and it can feel really overwhelming at times. And I find that breaking it down to just the simplest, I just need to check these 4 things off, like this is all I need to focus on right now. Once I accomplish those, I'm in a better space, okay, to then think moving forward. Which, by the way, getting down about the state of the world and being freaked out and frustrated and scared makes complete sense. Like that is reactions based off of factual events that are happening. Truly, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do with this. I'm enjoying that. I'm not gonna lie. I enjoy the attention, but I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do with it. Anyway, I know, baby. You're not evolutionarily prepared to deal with the onslaught of information that we get every day. If you consider how we've evolved over centuries and millennia and, you know, eons, our technological advancements, especially in the last century, have exponentially grown well past any sort of biological evolution that we could be doing as a human race. Anytime that you're watching a video and someone is being harmed, your body can't tell the difference, that's not happening to you, that you're not actually seeing that in this exact moment. It doesn't care that there's a screen in the way. Like, your body will take that on as fact. And so, ma'am, look at her. She's trying to bring some levity to this conversation while I'm trying to be serious. Chicken, bring me a toy then. Bring me a toy then. Anyway, none of us were set up for this. So there's no point in beating yourself up for feeling stuck or frozen or freaked out or any of that, because that's not fair to you. You have to give yourself grace during this time. We all have to give ourselves grace during this time, especially because none of this is really... Yeah? Oh my goodness. I'm sorry that I keep getting distracted by her, but honestly, she truly just... She brings a bright spot into my days, that's for sure. And I think when we're talking about focusing on what we can and focusing on what we have, you know, I have her to take care of. And that's something that I can focus on. That's something that I can do good with and about. And that's exciting for me. We're going to pause this so I can get her a toy, because I do want to have this conversation. But if she keeps, yes, she keeps trying to climb on me, then how are we supposed to? Yeah, I know. Let's find Rodolfo. So Rodolfo is, yeah, here he is. Don't worry, I'll show you Rodolfo. This is Rodolfo. This is her boyfriend. It's her favorite toy. I know, okay. Jeez, go get him. Lordy, she's knocking things over. Let's check on our soup really quick while we're in the midst of it. I know you're at a precariously strange angle. Oh, yeah, she's ready for those tortellones. That's for sure. I'll pop you back up so you can see. Boop. There you go. I want to keep you in the action, you guys. All right. Tortellini's going in. Beautiful. And then, honestly, with the amount of heat that this is generating, I can keep this on for like another minute or so, and then I'll just turn the heat off and let it continue to cook while it sits in the heat. And then we'll let it sit for a bit, and then I like to add half and half just before I eat it, because I like it to be a little bit creamy. And so I let the broth like not be at a boiling temperature before adding dairy, because that just feels right. You know what I mean? Sometimes the choices that you make during cooking are just because the vibe feels correct. So truly, that is why. Any hoozle. Okay. Have you calmed down at all? She's directly under my feet. Like, that's going to be helpful. Yeah, I will drink that, but you shouldn't. Okay, she's happy. Anyway. I think part of it is, where do I want to start my conversation again? I think if we're thinking about what we can do, because realistically, none of this is new, and I think that's what feels so scary about it, but it's never been, I don't want to say it's never been this bad. That's not true. I mean, history has shown us that this is part of our society as Americans. And it's not new, but that doesn't mean that it's not terrifying and that it's not going to freak you out. And so what I'm going to do about that is I am going to model the society and the community that I want to live in. And that's going to include doing soup night. That's something I can do. I can create a space where if it's a Thursday night and you just want to take a break from the world and hang out and enjoy some soup, you can come to my place and I'll have soup and I'll hang out with you. And we can talk about nothing, or we can talk about everything. And we can create that space to connect and be with each other and share. And whatever it is that we need as a community and a society to live the way that we want to live. And like, it doesn't have to be that. You should lean into your own strengths for sure. I was already doing soup night for myself for a while before I ever thought about inviting anyone else in real life. And then two, before I ever thought about live streaming it. It was just something for me. And that's part of what I love so much about it. I love that I get to share that. I love that I get to share something that's mine with others, with you guys. And so you don't have to make soup if you don't like cooking. You don't have to do that. If that's not your skill set, that's not what you like doing. You don't like inviting people over to your house. If you don't like, then what are your skills? What are your things that you do? What are ways that you can connect with others and lean into those? A really quick example, actually, this literally just happened. I had to, I washed the rug from under my bed. And so then I was trying to get it back under my bed and trying to lift a bed and move a rug at the same time as an individual person while the dog is trying to help. Doesn't work out so well. And so when I was chatting with a friend, and he was telling me about how he's putting a recording closet together, and I was like, oh, I actually have some extra moving blankets if you need something for sound dampening. Let's share resources. And he was like, great. And I was like, actually, while you're coming to pick up the moving blanket, can you help me lift my bed so that I can move the rug under? Can you like help me with that? And that's as simple of an exchange back and forth. I have something that you could utilize. How about I share it with you? You know, I need help with something. Could you help me? Like it truly can be that straightforward and simple and small. You can start small. It doesn't have to be something big and grand and exciting, because at the end of the day, when we're thinking about how we are going to keep doing the day-to-day, and how we are going to create the world that we want to live in, the moments that I think of are the small ones. You know, I want to be able to not log on and sit at a computer for 8 to 10 hours a day, because why would that be how I want to spend my time? I want to be able to go out on walks with my dog. I want to be able to invite my friends over for soup night. I want to be able to bake bread and ride horses and go read in the park. And, I want to be able to do those small things, and I want to be able to do it with my neighbors and my friends and my community. And I want to be able to do it in a way that I don't have to worry that, God, I don't have to worry. Not that we're going to erase the concept of worrying forever. But I think that's the main thing, is the worry can get so big and so all-encompassing, and you can't operate from that way. You've got to be able to bring yourself back. You've got to be able to start small, and reel yourself back in. But what other things did I want to? Oh, this is actually, this was one of my favorite things that I wrote down, because I was thinking about how it kind of feels impossible to show up as like your best self recently. We keep trying, we keep showing up regardless. If we can't be our best selves, then we'll show up with whatever selves that we have, and hope that's going to be enough. And I was laughing about the old concept of the fact that we gave out participation trophies is the reason that millennials don't work hard enough, and millennials are so lazy. And you know what? Give yourself the participation trophy. You showed up, you participated, you tried. That is success in this day and age. You showed up and you tried. Give yourself the award. Because what else is there? Showing up and participating is half the battle. Also, why are we trying to, what does it even mean to win at society? That's silly. So give yourself the participation trophy for whatever it is. If you showed up and you weren't your best self, that's fine. You participated. You got out of bed and showed up to work, and you, made sure to not forget the milk when you went to the grocery store. You participated. You did it. Did you do everything that you wanted to do? No, but you tried. You participated. Give yourself the award, because who's it going to hurt? Who is it going to hurt? Truly, so much of this, who is it going to hurt? And then I think it can feel a little dismissive to try and frame things of everything is terrible, but let's focus on the good. Let's focus on what we can, because what if everything is it's not that we're looking away from what's terrible. It's not that at all. But the only thing stronger than fear in this situation is hope. Otherwise, what are you fighting for? What are you going to make? What's the reason then? If we're not fighting for the life it is that we want to be living. And so I would just say, try and focus from a frame of hope and a frame of what can tomorrow bring, and, how can we continue, and how can we try every day to make this a day that we want to show up for. And it doesn't have to be big. It can truly just be that you got to drink your coffee out on the front porch for 15 minutes in the silence and just enjoy the outdoors. It can be that. It can be something as big as, big family obligations or big successes or big wins. But focusing on the fear will just fragment you further. It will just wear you down and tear you down. And it's kind of what oppressors want. Oppressors want you to feel like you're hopeless and that there's nothing that can be done, and that this is just the way that it is, and that there's no point in fighting because they've already won. And as I already said, you can't win at society, okay? You can't win at community. That's not the point. That's not the point of this. There shouldn't be winners and losers of our society, because it's meant to, we're supposed to be rising all boats. A rising tide raises all ships. If there are winners and losers of your society, then you're not supporting your community. Like, that's just, it's a bad framing to begin with. So no, it's not over. No one has won. No one has lost. We're going to keep moving forward, and everything is temporary and everything is going to change, and that can be great and that can be terrible. But all that means is that this moment isn't going to last forever. It doesn't mean that we're going to forget this moment. It doesn't mean that we're going to pretend that it's not happening. It doesn't mean that we're going to look away from our friends and our neighbors and our community being threatened like this. But it doesn't mean that it's going to last forever, because it can't. Just factually, it can't. Something always has to give. Change is the only thing that is guaranteed in this world. And maybe that can bring you some comfort and joy. I was a child who was born with nihilism inside my bones, and so thankfully I have moved on to absurdism, which much better for my mental health, I will say. Absurdism over nihilism. I'll bring you back over so you can see these tortellini. I wouldn't leave you hanging like that. Now we have to do the fun thing where I push the chair out of the way, though. Okay. Don't look at my saggy butt while I do this. Move. Oh my goodness. See, as annoying as that was, because there were wheels, it was much better. Okay, we're up. We're moving. We're grooving. We're pulling. I almost knocked you completely over. Okay, you're resettled. Okay. What did I just break? Oh, I lost my charging cord. So, it's okay. We'll survive. All right, soup shot. Look at that soup. No, you're back. Okay, good. Look at that soup. That's good soup. That's good soup. That is just delicious. All right, I'm just going to let that, if you can see all the steam rising off that. I'm just going to let the steam settle for a bit before I pour in the half and half. And then I get to have soup. I am very sorry that the technology has not yet been invented for me to deliver soup to you through the screen, or even smells. Would love for that to become a technology, but factually I wouldn't know how that would work. But I'm not a scientist, so I don't have to. So I'm sorry it's kind of more of a BYOS situation, bring your own soup. But that is the soup that I've created for soup night. And I guess the fun thing about virtual soup night is that you don't have to soup if you want to. Soup night is more of a state of mind. If you're not in a soup mood, you don't have to soup. I will say though, so in the summer when I do soup night and it's hot as all get out, I do sometimes not make a soup but still call it soup night. Because soup night is a state of mind, okay? It doesn't always have to relate. It should relate to soup because soup is delicious, but soup is not an every time food. It's almost an every time food. If I could make it an every time food, I would. But we have to respect what soup can and cannot do for us. And soup in 90-degree weather just, I mean, gazpacho, I guess, but I'm not really a cold soup fan. I'm not going to lie to you. I'll eat it, but again, there are a lot of things. I'll eat it, but if I have options, no, I'm going to get something else. And that's okay. Whew. All right, we're going to plug this back in, theoretically. Can I? Yeah, it's on this side. I know how my computer works. Okay, you're charging again. Thank goodness. I was so worried that I was going to lose you. But I didn't. Any hoozle. I now have soup. I'm very excited about it. I hope that you enjoyed my rambly little pep talk. I'm going to wind down my soup night with you guys just because it's feeling like that time. It's feeling like we've hit that part of our evening together. And so this is going to be, as our agenda, we chopped and chatted. The dog ate first. We talked about community. We did. And basically the theory there is live your life now the way that you want it to be, how you want it to be moving forward. Focus on that. Focus on how you want to show up in the world and do that. Keep doing that because that's how we make change. So now we move on to Goodbye Gorgeous. So thank you so much for joining me. Alexa, thank you for telling me you like my pep talk. And yeah, I think we're going to keep doing this. I think that this is going to be a fun thing for us. So I will let you know. We should be doing it next week. I want to say that like fairly confidently that we'll be doing Soup Week next week. So I guess I'll see you next week then. Same time. As long as it works for you, it works for me, babe. Let me know if we want to hop on earlier though, and we can definitely do that. I was trying to give myself time so I didn't have to rush, and then it was like 5 o'clock for me, and I was like, I feel like I figured it all out. I did it all. What else is there to be done? So we can always move it a little bit earlier. But thank you for joining me for Soup Night. This brought me so much joy and wonderful vibes and feelings. I'm going to go enjoy my soup. I hope you go enjoy a soup or whatever brings you soup vibes for yourself. You can call anything soup. Anything can be your soup on Soup Night. So I hope you go enjoy it. I hope you take some deep breaths for me. You know what? You and me right now. We're going to do our 5 deep breaths. Ready? And we let it out. And we're going to go again. We'll do 3. One more. Okay. Goodbye, my gorgeous. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you next week. Bye. Susie, say goodbye. Say goodbye, Susie. Bye. Okay, we're going to go enjoy some soup.